Arch Rivals Football, in collaboration with the Playmakers blog, presents Bearing Down the Gridiron, sponsored by NFLShop.com, Fanatics, and Points.com. Here are your hosts for the show, Alex, the Bear Man Al-Kazzaz, and Darnell, the Playmaker Sallins. Executively produced by Ricky, a.k.a. the Master of Mayhem, Litwinkowich. Kickoff starts in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Ladies and gentlemen, how y'all doing tonight on this late Thursday evening, December 8th, 2022? I am here, the Playmaker, Darnell, Sallins, and y'all know my co-host, the Bear Metal Texas, is out here. Al-Kazzaz, what's going on, sir?
Oh. 2 days with no soccer, no World Cup. That's been torture.
Can't be that bad. By the way, my Rams is currently playing right now, down 13-3 to Raiders. And
you don't sound surprised.
And Baker Mayfield is that quarterback.
Oh. How many? What's his number so far?
That I don't have right now. But I can tell you this. From what the commentary has said so far between Kurt Hershey and Al Michaels, it only took him 3 plays to get in.
Oh, yeah. Apple.
That's not bad it is for the Los Angeles Rams right now. But we're not here to talk about pro football. We're here to talk about college football. We had championship week last week, ladies and gentlemen. And during championship week, we kicked it off on a Friday with the Conference USA Championship kicking areas off. It was Bear Man's alma mater, North Texas, taking on UTSA Roadrunners. And yeah, this was not going to be a repeat of what took place last time these two teams faced off. Because UTSA said, you got us once, you're not getting us twice. Bearman, thoughts on your open mark?
They fired their coach the next day.
Wow.
I don't even know why.
Wow.
I mean, if you're going to fire him, fine, but why before the bowl game? So that pretty much guarantees that UNT won't win their bowl game.
I said we're going to get to that because I wrote down some notable bowl games to talk about real quickly. But we'll get to that. And then we had our first Power 5 championship game taking place last Friday when the Pac-12, when it was Utah going against USC. If USC can avenge their only loss of the season, they'll be in.
Nope.
Yeah, that definitely didn't happen.
OU fans are rejoicing.
Because by the score of 47-24, USC has been officially eliminated from the postseason playoff battle. Any thoughts of what took place at Allegiant Stadium between the Trojans and the Utes of round 2?
USC got emotionally bankrupt.
Oregon.
I learned that from Jim Ross.
Oregon knows the pain that USC is going through because they went through this last year. They got smacked by Utah. Had to face them again a couple of weeks later in the Pac-12 championship, and they got smacked again. So USC, Oregon feels your pain. They know what you're going through.
They feel their pain.
So if there's any team, anybody you need to talk to the Oregon Duck fans because they know what it felt like. Because they was in this position last year.
Yeah,
Caleb
in Oklahoma, they're happy to see Lincoln Riley fall like this.
And Caleb Williams, that man's a soldier. That man is a soldier. You know he was hurt. You can tell. He couldn't even lie to the people and say he wasn't hurt because everybody can see it who was watching the game. You can see he was hurt. He played all the way through, but it came up short. Look, these are his numbers, okay? 28 for 41, 363, and 3 touchdowns with 1 pick. That is Caleb Williams' numbers while being injured there, man. That man's a soldier. He tried. It just wasn't enough. That was last Friday. Birdman, it's time to go to what happened last Saturday. Starting off in the SEC, it was #1 Georgia going against LSU, and dare I say, Alabama season completely was finished.
Mm-hmm. Admit it, you're happy. You were happy about that.
Well, I was happy about that. I wasn't happy about that. I spoke the truth.
Uh-huh.
That's all I did was speak the truth.
And Georgia has a legitimate chance of winning the title again.
50-30, a beat down in Atlanta for the Bulldogs over the Tigers. From the SEC to the American Conference down in New Orleans, Louisiana. It was a rematch between the Tulane Green Wave and the UCF Knights, and the Knights did not show up for this one for whatever reason.
Oh, then you feel my pain.
For whatever reason, they did not show up for this.
Yeah. So, like I said, you feel my you feel my pain.
Before you know it, they was down 17-7 before you knew it. And they could not catch Tulane. Whatever Tulane did, Gus Malzahn could not counter whatsoever. So this rematch did not go according to plan. If you're a Knights fan like I am, it went Tulane's way. So Tulane wins the American, plus they win the New Year's Six big, which we'll get to later on. And then we got to the Big 12 Championship. A rematch between Kansas State Wildcats and the TCU Horned Frogs. TCU, if you win, you leave no doubts. You're in the playoffs. If you lose, you leave a summer of hope open. And most people ask for that team down in Tuscaloosa. Very, very good game. 14-10 at halftime, Kansas State's way. All of a sudden, Kansas State jumped out to a 21-10 lead. And then Max Duggan brought the Horned Frogs back and sent the game in overtime. Scoring 11 unanswered, they send the game in overtime. But in overtime, TCU gets stopped at the 1-yard line. The 1-yard line. Kansas gets the field goal, and they take down TCU. Now, the thing that matter of fact, I'm gonna let Bearman go first. Then I'm gonna go to what I was gonna say. Perfect season is gone. No perfect season.
They're still in the top 4, so they're in the playoffs.
We will get to that. I went to work and I looked and it said TCU forces overtime. And you know what that prompted me to do, Bearman? You know what that prompted me to do and get some people mad at me, those who are Alabama fans like my cousin. You know what I did?
You trolled?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, what'd you do then?
I went to social media, right? And this is exactly what I said. Matter of fact, I can show it to you. You see that? This is 5 days ago now.
Lower it a little bit. Look at that.
By forcing overtime, TCU solidified their spot in the CF playoffs.
They did.
That's what I put when I found out they forced overtime. And people was upset, but I'm going to show you why. From the Big 12 to the MAC conference, in their championship game down in Detroit, Michigan at Ford Field, the Toledo Rockets versus the Ohio Bobcats. And as you can see from the score, Toledo scored 17. Ohio scored 7. Not a very offensive game per se. Only 24 points were scored.
Well, what a championship game.
Toledo struck first, Ohio State struck that, and then Toledo scored 10 unanswered. And that's how that game ended. So shout out to the Toledo Rockets for winning the MAC conference. But we wasn't done yet, because now we head to the Sun Belt Conference. It was Coastal Carolina going against Troy down in Alabama. And
I got that one right.
Yeah, Troy was not messing around with Coastal Carolina at all. 45-26. Troy jumped out to a 31-0 lead before Coastal Carolina even got on the board.
You mentioned that Troy doesn't mess around. I mean, Troy wasn't messing around when they beat LSU. What was it, 5 years ago? When they beat LSU in Death Valley? You remember that, don't you?
No, when I say they weren't messing around, you know what their record is this season?
Is it undefeated?
They're 11-2.
Oh.
They was not messing around this season.
Yeah, but we know that they don't mess around.
I mean, their only losses came to, let's see, Ole Miss and Appalachian State. 2 quality losses, if you ask me. But they weren't messing around. So from the Sun Belt in Alabama to the Bluegrass in Boise, Idaho.
The Battle of State. Fresno State and Boise State.
Where yet again, for the second time, Fresno State did it again. They walked into Boise with a conference championship on the line, and they beat Boise State in the championship game again. I don't have the year exactly in my head when it happened, but I can tell you it's within 5 years.
Yeah, you can feel it.
Because I picked Boise State to win that game, and they did. And guess who I picked to win this game?
Boise State?
I picked Boise State and Fresno State.
You made a judgment call. You don't have to be ashamed of it.
And
It's part of our duty in our line of work. You got to make those judgment calls.
Fresno State got me again. They jumped out to a 14-6 lead, and Boise State didn't have no answers whatsoever. It was just terrible. It's terrible. From the Mountain West to Indianapolis, Indiana for the Big Ten Championship game. And gotta admit, Purdue made the first half very, very interesting for a lot of people. But something about that damn second half with Michigan. Just something about that second half with Michigan.
You warned everybody about this, about how this game could turn out, and for a while, you had called it. But Michigan said, "Screw this! No more. Recess is over." At least for Purdue.
It was 14-13 at halftime. Michigan won. And as you can see, they stopped playing. They sent the message.
Yeah. So like as you said, Michigan said that what was over.
This is over. Recess
is over. No more playing around.
Yeah, we're not doing this. No, not tonight. Not tonight. No.
Not tonight.
We gave you the first half. Now it's time to put you to bed.
Yeah.
And then that
And
gives us
speaking of recess, this game never really had a recess. At least not for North Carolina.
Charlotte, North Carolina, Bank of America Field, Bank of America Stadium. Clemson and North Carolina, two teams who have been very disappointing as of lately. So one team would not be a disappointment when this is over. And as you can see, it was the Clemson Tigers by 29. And the interesting part is DJ got bitched again. So DJ's backup came in there and started putting the team on his shoulders and had them boys rolling to a 39-10 victory.
And the boys rolling, baby. Let
the only conference we got right.
Yeah.
We both picked Ohio State to win the Big Ten. Well, we know who won that one. We both picked the team in Oklahoma, in the state of Oklahoma, to win. Both of us was wrong on that one. You were done from the start. I was done midway through the season after they played your Horned Frogs. That was it for me. You snuck a UCLA in there for the Pac-12. I went for Oregon. Neither one of them made it. And we both picked Alabama to win the goddamn SEC. And
this one, I'll be honest, I'm glad I got it wrong because I can't stand Alabama.
Thanks a lot, LSU, for doing that. So, yeah, that was the tail of the tape on that one. As but we got to get you the rankings because the championship rankings went like this. The Bearman State, 6-4, not a bad record for championship week, Bearman. Started off bad because you lost the first 3 games, and then it got turned around. For me, it was the opposite. I started off good on Friday, and then so I went 500. But I was up. I was already up 5 games on you. And that's how it finished. I went 5-5. Bearman went 6-4. And I have the record of 64-24. Bearman has the record of 60-28. It's not a bad record, Bearman. That's a damn good record.
I can still have the bragging rights over TCU, so I'm good.
You have a win percentage of 68. Yeah, 68.
That's good.
My win percentage was 72.7. Yeah, that's not bad. That's pretty good. Should be good. So, all right, we're going to take a break right here. And then when we come back, before we get to the bowl games, we got to talk some news that took place during the week that I want to get Bearman's thoughts on. We'll be back. The Playmakers Bar is proudly to announce that it lettered a partnership deal with Paramount Plus. Paramount Plus. Stream live sports from any device that you have, whether it's your computer, laptop, or even your cellular device. Catch breaking news live when it happens, and enjoy a mountain of entertainment from movies to shows to whatever you love doing. Paramount Plus. Plan starts at $4.99 a month, but right now, you can get a free trial. Just hit that link below with the Playmakers blog and start your free trial right now. Paramount Plus, Mountains of Entertainment.
Paint Train Pipe Bomb Productions and the Playmakers blog are now both partnered with Fanatics. Fanatics is now your new home for all fan merchandise from the MLB, the NFL, the NBA, the NHL, MLS, NASCAR, WWE, international soccer leagues, and golf. Check out the links below for everyday deals on Fanatics.com.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Bearing Down a Gridiron with the Playmaker and the Bearman. So before we get to what took place in the final polls and who made the playoffs and whatnot, Bearman, there's something we need to talk about, sir.
Am I going to the principal's office now?
No, you're not going to the principal's office. See, I didn't tell him this. That's how I know. But when I put this picture up, he's going to know. Ladies and gentlemen. Deion Sanders led Jackson State to a perfect record and a conference championship. And afterwards, he told the players that he accepted a job at Colorado. Deion Sanders will be coaching in the celebration game with Jackson State before fully indulging himself to the Buffaloes. There has been a lot of talk. I'm pretty sure you've seen it all on social media, Barry. You probably heard about it on some of the shows that you watched and how people are reacting to Deion Sanders.
Yeah,
so, sir, the floor is yours.
Some people were pissed. Some people were so mad, okay. I don't want to go to it, but like some people were mad, like as if like he was stealing from the state of Mississippi. I'm like, okay, stop. You want to talk? Okay, in that case, yeah, Brett Favre is probably the guy you want to think about when it comes to that. I don't understand why there was no reason for this to be negative at all. I mean, for anything, you should be happy for the guy. I mean, he's with coaching. He's starting off at the bottom, coaching a small college program, and now he's working his way up. This is great for Deion Sanders. I'm happy for the guy. I mean, I'll be honest. There's a reason that I'm jealous of him, because he gets to live in a beautiful state like Colorado, in the mountains, in the Rocky Mountains, and like that. So, but overall, this is huge for Deion Sanders, and you can't say he doesn't deserve this opportunity. You can't even say he didn't work for it. I mean, I don't understand how people cannot be happy about this. Why they got to bring up the negative publicity?
All right, so here's the thing when it comes to HBCUs or anything within the black community, man. You heard it plenty of times how the black community is pretty much at the bottom. They don't get the opportunities that most other groups get, correct? The lack of executives or head coaches, people in leadership roles that are black and within the sports world. Then Deion Sanders come to Jackson State, correct?
Mm-hmm.
He says what he's going to do for Jackson State for HBCUs, correct? We are just as good as the Power Five. We're just as good as teams in the SEC, the ACC, the Pac-12, the Big 12, that, right? This is what he said, correct?
Mm-hmm.
He goes to Jackson State. He gets the number one recruit. When have you ever heard of the number one recruit going to an HBCU?
Exactly. See, he worked hard. He made an impact. Did you ever see that video of him telling his players to put their phone away?
I heard about it. I hadn't seen it.
There was a video, yeah, and he was shouting, like, I don't know, I mean, I don't remember him saying if you put your phone away or you don't play, but I just remember him shouting, telling his players, put the phone away. Deion Sanders has always been that kind of player, like, hands off, a hands-on guy who doesn't care, like, who gets in his way. If you act like a fool, you don't work hard, he's going to put you on the bench exactly where you belong. Basically, it's like this, like, you don't scare him, but he's going to easily scare you. I mean, Deion Sanders does not play around. I mean, come on, a legend like him, of course he's not going to play around.
So the thing is, he was bringing hope to the HBCUs in the black community.
And Deion Sanders is a guy, he's all about maintaining discipline. That's how you motivate these young guys. You got to be disciplined. You got to work hard.
So, in most of the black people's minds, correct? Deion's going to elevate HBCUs to the level of the Power 5. There's hope. We're going to get notoriety. We're going to get what is due to us. That's pretty much what he was saying, correct? In 3 years, Jackson State has been featured a lot. HBCUs has been featured a lot. They was already featured, but not to the degree until Deion Sanders got there. Top recruits are going to the HBCUs. College game day went to Jackson State this season. Does that say anything to you?
Mm-hmm.
College game day.
He put Jackson State on the map. Deion Sanders put Jackson State on the map.
Did they show at Jackson State? Here's the thing. What did you just say there, man?
He put them on the map.
It's Deion Sanders. It is prime time. So the thing is, people lost hope now because who can do what Deion did? There's only one Deion, right?
There's only one. Yep. There's only one playmaker. Wait,
So,
well, prime time, I should say. Now I'm thinking Michael Irvin. There's only one prime time.
So, and there's been a back and forth argument between a lot of different people that Deion has given the blueprint of how to bring HBCU up, correct?
He's got his own coaching philosophy.
But the problem is, like I just said, there's only one Deion, right?
There's only one Deion.
So other coaches probably can't do what Deion did because they ain't Deion.
Deion is doing his own thing. I mean, look, when it comes to basically excelling at something that you love to do, like when a young player, when critics say he's like he reminds of like the French soccer player Kylian Mbappe, he has drawn comparisons to the Brazilian legend from way back in the day, Pelé. He's been compared to the French legend from before him, Thierry Henry. But all he said for Mbappe, he needs to worry. He needs to be his for himself. Like when it comes to being something, don't worry about being the next like that. You'll be yourself. That's what Primetime's doing. He has his own way of coaching, his own way of conducting business, and it's working. That's what you have to do. You got to find your own way. Why do you think I have my own the podcast I do? Like, why do you think I'm doing things my own way? You got to figure out how to make it out on your own. You got to take that certain path. It's about taking a chance, and he's taking it. It's working out for him. I kind of feel like Deion Sanders is not the kind of guy who should be told how to do his job. I mean, nobody should. He doesn't need to because he knows what he's doing. I mean, at the end of the day, I can't throw him under the bus. I don't know what it's like to be in his position. He's not going to make the decisions. He's not going to make everybody happy with his decisions, but he's doing things his way, and it's working out. So when he's able to do things his way, he's making an impact. It's positive. I mean, again, I don't know anything about coaching football. I mean, especially like that. I mean, even though we get critical of the coaching we've been critical of many coaches before, but as far as prime time, I know for sure he knows what he's doing. I mean, again, Jackson State on the map. I mean, before he went to Jackson State, did anybody even? I'll be honest. I didn't even know that there was such a place, such a school. Did you?
Huh. And I'm black.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, you see. So Coach Prime has made an impact. So he knows what he's doing.
Hell, I didn't even know where Jackson State was located at.
Neither, dude. Me too. I thought it was at first I thought it was Jacksonville State. I thought it was just a school in Jacksonville, Florida. Yeah.
No,
you see,
I would have told you.
Yeah.
I know all the colleges in Jacksonville.
And there is a University of Jacksonville. Obviously there is. There's always a university of a certain city.
And Jacksonville State is not located in Jacksonville, Florida. It's located in Jacksonville, North Carolina.
Yeah. Oh, look at that.
Matter of fact, no, I might be wrong. I think it's Jacksonville, Alabama. Because I was like, wait a minute. What's up, Jacksonville State? I ain't heard of Jacksonville State, and I stay in Jacksonville. Nah, homie. Jacksonville, Alabama. Jacksonville State is located in Jacksonville, Alabama.
I mean, don't be surprised if the recruiting of Colorado, significantly increases.
I can see both sides, because when you listen to Deion talk, he talked as if he was on a mission to do the Lord's work for HBCUs and student athletes there, right? And if you know anything about Black culture, we're very serious when it comes to the Lord and God, okay? Not as serious as other religions, but Christianity is a big thing for us. But at the same time, use your brain. Did you really think a guy with the persona of Deion Sanders was going to stay at Jackson State for a very long time?
No. I mean, the fact of the matter is, he wasted no time making an impact, right?
No.
And when that happened, we talked about it. I said, well, he keeps it up. It's going to be at a point where teams, these other programs, they're not going to ask Deion to come to them. You know what they're going to do instead of asking him? They're going to beg him. They will beg him. They will be prepared They will be prepared to succumb to his demands. Yeah. Because at that point, he's going to have the leverage. He's going to have the advantage.
Colorado came knocking. Deion! Matter of fact, they fired their coach back in October, I think. It's now December. They literally waited to get Deion. They didn't talk to nobody. They was waiting on Deion since October. By the way, I think Buffalo only won one game this season. I think they only won one game this season. Let me go to the Pac-12.
I mean, I'm not even kidding when I said that. Living in that part in Boulder, Colorado, which is not far from Denver, not far from ski resorts, the beautiful fresh mountain air, all the the hiking and everything, all the things you can do over there. I mean, I know he's going to be coaching, he's going to be busy, but still, I mean, he's going to be living in a very nice place.
Colorado is leaving a team that he took to be undefeated in the HBCU to go to a Pac-12 team that went 1-11. I'm going to say that again. He's leaving the HBCU when he made them undefeated going into the Celebration Bowl this bowl season to a Pac-12 school that went 1-11. That's a big difference.
Mm-hmm.
You might be in the Power 5, but you can one of the sorriest teams in football. So we shall see how Deion does in Colorado. We shall see how Jackson State does post Deion Sanders. And let's see if that impact can still be felt within the HBCUs.
I have a feeling that one day, one way or the other, he is going to land a head coaching job at Florida State University.
I don't know. It might not work in year 3 has done, but
I mean, it is his alma mater.
Which I kind of figured that was going that route, but hey, it is what it is. Quick break. When we come back, we get to our final stuff. Bowl season.
Pain Train Pipe Bomb Productions is now partnered with NFLShop.com. NFLShop.com, which is brought to you by Fanatics, brings you amazing team items like game day jerseys, hats, t-shirts, hoodies, team banners, and more. Check out the link below for great, amazing everyday deals on NFLShop.com.
And welcome back to Bearing Down the Gridiron with the Bearman and the Playmaker. Quick note here. As of right now, because this is the season for a lot of stuff. For Paramount Plus, you can get 50% off over 1 year subscription this season. If you go to our link for Paramount Plus and use the promo code WINTER50, that is WINTER50, you can get 50% off your 1 year subscription with Paramount Plus. Also, with Fanatics, there is a up to 65% off site-wide going on, Bear Man. If they use the promo code BOLT, B-O-L-T, they can get up to 65% off their shoppings at Fanatics. And they can get it by Christmas.
Take advantage of the best deals in the world, y'all. That's why I just say, like, I don't have to describe the specific deals because I make it clear they are the best deals in the world. You never know what Fanatics is going to throw at you, baby. They are all about business. And I'm talking good business. They want to take care of their customers to the best of their ability.
And now it's time for the final thing. And Bearman's going to have a smile on his face because, ladies and gentlemen, the playoffs are set. Number 1, Georgia. Number 2, Michigan. Number 3, TCU. And number 4, Ohio State. Now, somebody did call the order of how this was going to go, correct?
Oh, yeah.
Somebody did get comments saying that he was wrong and that another team was going to get in. Or they were going to be a rematch between 2 schools, correct?
Mm-hmm.
What did that person say what the order was going to be?
Well, they knew that there would be no way that Ohio State and Michigan would be meeting in the same college playoff game.
Now, I'm just curious because I don't know, Bear Man, because you tell me, okay? You tell me, all right? What does the read that for the people?
Yeah, you called it.
Read it for the people because they think I'm playing.
Well, yeah, the committee will avoid a rematch between Michigan and Ohio State.
What's above that?
The college football playoff will lock like number 1 Georgia versus number 4 Ohio State, number 2 Michigan versus number 3 TCU. So let me ask you. So I know what's going on. They are refusing to acknowledge you, right, Tribal Chief?
So at one point, I told you by the fact TCU for the overtime, Bama wasn't getting in. Who's number 3?
That they would not. They would make sure that we will not see Michigan and Ohio State.
And then I said,
not the playoff game.
And then I gave you the order which they was going to do it, and I said in the process they was going to afford a rematch. What's the 4 teams in there? What's the 4 teams in here?
Georgia, Michigan, Ohio State, and TCU.
Who's playing who?
Michigan and TCU. And you warned TCU that Michigan's brutal as hell.
I mean, y'all come for me, but when I prove you right, you know where to be heard. You're just quiet.
Guys, the Playmaker called it. You got to acknowledge him. And y'all doubted. I mean, y'all doubted. You know what? Y'all doubted him, and now you're not going to face the music.
How many comments is that? When I say TCU,
28. Is that 20? Is that 24?
Yeah, when I say TCU will have solidified their playoff spots.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You know what? Why don't you do everybody a favor? Why don't you read some of them out?
Like, okay, Dave, Vern, disagree. I don't think it matters. They will fall below Alabama and Ohio State. The committee has been looking for reasons to keep them out for weeks. TCU handed them one. My good buddy, Cole Johnson. I want to believe, and please committee prove me wrong. However, I believe they want Bama in there and will punish TCU for necessarily losing a home game against a 10th ranked team late in the year. Jordan Long, who we know, who me and Bearman know, way disagree.
Wait. Okay, anything from Mr. Meese? Well, I'm not too sure. Well, anything from the War Bronco himself, Mr. John Meesak?
No, he wasn't in here.
All right.
Nick Stevens says the NCAA would not let the playoffs be without Ohio State and Alabama.
And they did. I mean, seriously, everybody's so fixated on Alabama. Everybody's saying the same thing you did. It was in 2010. You got to let it go. I'm like, I'll let it go once Texas wins the title again.
But when the committee showed what they was going to do, how many comments is that? Just 3 comments.
Yeah.
Where was everybody at then? Now I will say Jordan Love, he did come out and was like, hey, you called it. You called it. See,
They need to acknowledge.
y'all can ask Snowman. You can ask Brian Snow. You can ask Cole Johnson. You can ask Alex right here who's with me. You can ask Ricky, the master of Mayhem. You can ask Ken Moore. There's a group of people you can ask. When I say something, I'm saying it for a reason. As you can see, I said by the fact that TCU forced overtime, they were in. Y'all didn't want to believe me. When I sat here and told you what the committee was going to do with the 4 teams, y'all didn't want to believe me. And what's that what you see? Number 1, Georgia versus number 4, Ohio State, December 31st, New Year's Eve, in the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl, 8 p.m. And before that game, it's the first one, the Fiesta Bowl, down in Glendale, Arizona, between number 2, Michigan, and number 3, TCU. And Bearman would tell you, I root for the SEC like crazy. I am an SEC guy. I would love to have Alabama in there. But I was like, knowing the committee and how this went down, TCU forced overtime in a top 10 showdown for a bid to a championship game. They're in.
There's a particular thing that a lot of people have been getting wrong. They're saying that a lot of people were saying TCU was the first Big 12 team to make the Final Four. That's actually not true. They're the first team in Texas to make the college football playoffs. Oklahoma is the first team to make it. They did back-to-back.
They was the first team who was ranked number 3 in the final thing in the polls and didn't make the playoffs because you know why? Because a team like Ohio State and Alabama, they played a conference championship game and TCU didn't that year. Mm-hmm. Baylor went instead. Remember that year?
Oh, wait. Well, when was that?
I want to say the first year of the playoffs. 2014.
I think you're right. Yeah, okay, yeah. So TCU is not the first team. Yeah, I mean, I guess everybody forgot about Baylor.
Because this is what the analysts kept bringing up. Are you going to punish TCU for losing an extra game, but you punish them when they didn't have an extra game? I was like, the committee ain't going to do that because they know it's all eyes on them. And there's no rhyme or reason to put Alabama in. And by the way, if you want to listen to me talk about that, go to Snowman in the morning for Monday. I'll put Alabama. I'll put Stephen A. Smith. I'll put Nick Saban. I'll put all Crimson Tide fans on the hot seat on Snowman in the morning. Back on Monday, and I gave you reasons why. The reason why Alabama was not going to make it, and the reason why TCU did. My name ain't out there. I get it. I'm not Stephen A. Smith. I'm not Brian Snow or Cole Johnson when people go in and throw LeBron James stats at them so they can do what they do on Wednesdays called LeBron Sexual Confession. I'm not Mr. Eric Wilson who's out here doing a phenomenal job with Sports Arena and the NFL carousel.
Definitely is. Mr. Wilson, keep up the good work, brother. Keep it up, baby.
I might not be them. Yeah, I might be the guy who's called a playmaker and that has behind a microphone.
And I'm just the guy who calls himself the Bear of Texas, allegedly claims I'm half man, half bear, and I've got a beard that apparently a lot of people think is offensive. And that is no exaggeration. I've had people come up to me and say, your beard's offensive. Well, guess what? I don't care. You offended by the beard? Well, that's your own damn problem.
But those guys who I name will tell you, when I say something, done about 9 out of 10 times, I'm in the right, correct?
Wait, hold on. Say that again.
9 out of 10 times when I say something, it comes up correct.
Yeah, you have a track record and a positive one. And obviously mine too. But I mean, that's up for you to decide whether my track record is good or not. But you are yourself in your own unique way, like just like I am. I mean, you should have seen the stuff I get from those Cowboy fans. You should see the stuff I get from soccer fans. I mean, come on, hey, I mean, I never asked you this, but how did you react when I told you that I got a death threat for saying that Dak Prescott was overrated? I need to know, how exactly did you react?
That's the norm, especially from Cowboys Nation. Knowing them.
I'm like, guys, look. I've said my things, and maybe sometimes I've been maybe too tough on Dak, and this is not a story to get here, but look, when you don't, the problem is a lot of Cowboy fans just don't pay attention to the game the way I do. They don't watch it the way I do, or maybe they just don't pay attention at all. But look, we're just doing our jobs, okay? I mean, let's not forget everybody. Here's one thing. Darnell and I, we're a lot of things, but here's one thing that we're not. We're not fake news.
By the way, what is our motto?
The truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help us God. The so help us God, we don't say very much, but you know what? I kind of feel like, in our case, because we're great men of conviction, we might as well say so help us God.
The truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
I mean, if you think the stuff I've gotten from Cowboys Nation is bad, you should see the shit I get from soccer fans.
You talking to a guy who has been on arch rivals, killing his own Los Angeles Rams team with the Master of Mayhem trying to defend the reigning defenders of world champions. What does that tell you? And Bearman had a front row seat of that show.
Yeah. That wasn't really a good day. But at the end of the day,
and my Remedy Talk fans, they will tell you, I tell it how I see it. I tell it how it is. But if I want to be right or wrong.
Yeah, exactly. And we get the facts to back it up. I have
studied the committee since this playoff started. I know what the committee was going to do. I knew it. I said, first of all, even though people say it's not about avoiding the rematch, they going to avoid the rematch of Michigan, Ohio State. That's first and foremost. So who's going to be number 3? Well, TCU just forced overtime in the Big 12 championship game. Yeah, Alabama doesn't have a shot.
I mean, at the end of the day, people got mad at you because you told the truth. But you know what the most important thing is this is something that I live by. If you piss people off, not only does that mean you're doing your job, it means you are good at your job. The first thing I learned, I'll never forget, being in my first ever journalism class when a classmate said to me, and I quote, "Get the facts straight, homie." Get the facts straight, homie. Those words have been seared into my brain ever since, and they forever will be. You get the facts straight. It's all about the facts.
I didn't just come up with this out of the thin air. Oh, TCU's going to. No, I studied the committee. I listened to how they make the rankings, how they make the playoffs. And going by the history of what they did, that's how I knew TCU's good. They safe. Ohio State will be seeing Georgia, and Michigan will get TCU.
I mean, you did your homework. I don't understand how those people just can't give you the credit. I mean, look, you've proved me wrong. I've done the same, but at the end of the day, look, everybody has a difference of opinion. I mean, but hey, I've been wrong. You've been wrong. You know what that means? We're human. We're not perfect.
But here's my thing. I want y'all to keep that same energy when you come at me for something that you don't like. But when I prove you correct, I want you to keep the same energy. Don't get quiet because I was right. Y'all disagree with me, but come to find out, I was right. Damn, you hit it right on the goddamn head. Literally right on the head. The rankings and the matchups. And then our other New Year's 6 games. The Orange Bowl is really going to be orange for real. Very much didn't catch that.
No, hold on. I'm just editing something. Look at that. I see.
The Orange Bowl is going to be orange for real.
Tennessee versus Clemson.
It's going to be an orange day. That's for them, sure, December 30th, down in Miami.
Yeah. We're not talking about a suntan.
No, we literally orange. Tennessee orange and Clemson orange. All down in South Florida and down in Miami for that game, the Orange Bowl. New Year's Eve, right around the same time, semifinals playoff game number 2 gets kicked off. We got Alabama and Kansas State in the All-State show. Well, actually, no, that's not. Oh. Will Alabama show up or they do what they normally do? Well, we ain't in the playoffs, so guess what? Kansas State have fun. And Brad might tell you, when it comes to not making the playoffs in Alabama, they usually go down the drain.
Mm-hmm.
But here's a game I'm looking forward to New Year's Day, not New Year's Day, January 2nd. Because New Year's is on a Sunday, so it'll be NFL Day. But January 2nd, Monday, that's a typo on my part. Tulane, the highest Group of 5 ranking after beating UCF for the American Championship game, they get to face USC. Green Ray versus Trojans. And then the granddaddy of them all, the Rose Bowl, January 2nd, 5 p.m. on ESPN. Number 11 from the Big Ten, the Penn State Nittany Lions versus the Pac-12 champions for the second consecutive year in a row, the number 8 Utah Utes. So as we close out, which New Year's 6 games, Bearman, are you looking forward to watching?
Well, I wish I could say I'm looking forward to Tennessee versus Clemson, but Tennessee doesn't have their quarterback.
Yeah, they don't.
I gotta be honest. I'm from Alabama and Kansas State. No, absolutely not. I mean, probably I would say maybe the Rose. I would say the Rose Bowl. I mean, the Cotton Bowl. Obviously, we all know what that's gonna be. All-State Sugar Bowl. Yeah, I would say probably the Rose Bowl is the most exciting.
The Rose Bowl between Penn State and Utah.
Maybe I'm just being stubborn. I don't know. Or some would say I'm just being unreasonable, or just being what I am, because I am the pickiest eater in the world. So yeah, and that's no exaggeration. I am legitimately the pickiest eater in the world. If you want to test me, go ahead. Name something. I'll probably say no, I don't like it. I've as a matter of fact, for everybody knows, Ricky, the Master of Mayhem, tried it, and it didn't even take me 2 minutes. It didn't even take me 30 seconds to drive him insane.
Not drive him insane. Good gracious. Some other notable bowl games. We have the Cure Bowl. Check this out, Bearman. In the Cure Bowl, we have UTSA versus Troy. So we have the Conference USA champions versus the Sun Belt champions.
And we're not talking the movie with Brad Pitt.
Both teams are 11-2. That's a fun one. December 16th at 3 p.m. on ESPN. How about the Las Vegas Bowl, Bearman? We're going to Las Vegas. 14 ranked Oregon State. Guess who they get to play against?
Who do they get to play against?
The Florida Gators.
Oh, boy. Your Florida Gators.
Yeah, that would be my Florida Gators. At least they get to go to Vegas. Speaking of which, Frisco Bowl. 9:15 p.m. on ESPN. Boise State would be in that bowl game against North Texas.
I should have faith, but they fired their coach, so I'm like, I don't know what to expect now.
Okay.
And as far as who could be the next guy, I have no clue.
How about the Military Bowl featuring the UCF Knights and the Duke Blue Devils?
Military Bowl.
That'll be December 28th at 2 p.m. Then you'll have the San Diego Credit Union Holiday Bowl between 15th-ranked Oregon versus North Carolina.
Pretty much in the Military Bowl, and none of the military teams are on it.
Nope. Alamo Bowl, right down there by you, sir.
Oh yeah, Texas and Washington.
You know the matchup.
Yeah, well, it's the Alamo Bowl, right? I should know, but I don't know the one in Houston. I don't know that one.
That what the Gator Bowl, and you know the Gator Bowl's played it.
Mm-hmm.
South Carolina, Notre Dame. I would love to go to that game. I ain't gonna front you.
You should.
I ain't even gonna front you. I would love to go to that game. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Notre Dame, South Carolina. That's a hell of two teams ranked. You
should definitely go. Hopefully, Bernard. You know what? Yeah, maybe Bernard. Hey, Bernard might be there.
That's an interesting game right there. Just some of the games to look forward to during bowl season. So, with that being said, any final words, Bearman, as we get ready to wrap up?
Definitely looking forward to the Final Four, and in the future, if you want to call out the playmaker and he ends up being right, if you've got the courage to call him out for disagreeing and he gets it right, you ought to have the courage to basically say that he was right, so you should have the courage to acknowledge him.
I'll
be honest. Hey, if he was right, it's not like he's gonna laugh at you. He's not gonna troll you.
No,
unless you. If you troll him first, yeah, he'll probably do it back. But hey, at the end of the day, admit you were wrong, and then you're set free. There's nothing to be ashamed of.
I'm not a trolling type, but I can get back at you, and they'll tell you. But this is it for Bearing Down the Gridiron. Me and Bearman gonna take some time off, but we gonna do the Capital One Bowl Mania like we did last year. If I remember correct, I think Bernard won that damn thing.
Yep. I wouldn't doubt him again. I wouldn't be surprised if he did it again.
The reason why he don't win one of our shirts and something else. But, well, I'll get that set up ready for you guys, and I'll set that up. The first bowl game is not until, let's see, not until next Friday.
That's going to be a long time.
So it's the next Friday. So I had that up and running. But for now, me and Bear, maybe going to take some time off from Bearing Down the Gridiron. We'll be back as we get closer to the end of the year and get closer to the playoffs and the New Year's Six bowl games. So.
And so everybody knows, yeah, the whole time I've been multitasking.
So for the meantime, you can catch the Bearman doing Into the Net FC as the World Cup has hit the knockout stages going into the quarterfinals.
Quarterfinals start tomorrow morning.
Quarterfinals. Also, you can catch him doing some Texas Ranger talk because they did make a move in free agency.
Jacob deGrom, yep. But as a matter of fact, that's what I was editing right there.
He also has Cowboys talk. Cowboys is looking pretty good thus far. Can they keep it going?
Mm-hmm. The Governor's Cup is on the line this Sunday.
And ringside chaos if you love wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
So I think your last episode was about William Regal.
Yep. Yeah, there's actually an update. So yeah, I think he negotiated a release because he had that clause, and I think as part of the deal, William Regal doesn't appear on WWE programming until next year. So I still think there's definitely this whole thing was done out of mutual respect and everything. So, but a part of the reason, and I should say this, that William Regal that he allegedly regretted being there because I mentioned that in the show. Was because there was supposedly a maturity problem in management. So if that's true, then AEW, you guys need to get your act together. I mean, if there's a legend that doesn't want to be there because there's a maturity problem in management, that's not good. You got to fix that.
As for me, you can catch me doing Ramley Talk. usually every Thursday, recapping the previous week, looking forward to the next week. So sometime next week, you'll be hearing me recapping what's taking place tonight against the Las Vegas Raiders and previewing our Monday night class with Mr. Aaron Rodgers. Outside of that, shooting lights out, which I really do at the beginning of each week. Starting to pick up some steam. I appreciate everybody who's been tuning in, especially when I do my favorite fouls, which is a lot of fun to pick a team or a player and talk about what they did wrong or how they performing and do that. So, with that being said, you can follow all our podcasts on our website, theplaymakersblog.com. That will be in the show notes. So that's the Bear Man. I am the Playmaker. Signing out for this edition of Bearing Down the Gridiron.
You've just experienced Bearing Down the Gridiron, featuring your hosts, Alex the Bearman Al-Kazzaz and Darnell the Playmaker Sallins. Executive production is done by Ricky, the master of Mayhem Litwinkowich. Click that like button and subscribe so you'll be notified when a new Bearing Down the Gridiron episode is live on the air. Check out our sponsor links down below for everyday deals on Fanatics, NFLshop.com, and Points.com. Need merch? Check out www.paintrainpipebomb.threadless.com for quality merchandise at amazing prices. Tune in again next time